she's billed as the first black woman transformational figure that's going to be up for nomination to the Supreme Court.
But I thought they couldn't identify between a biological male and female. How do they know she's a woman?
And today, Marsha Blackburn yesterday asks her, well, we have the clip. Here it is. This is what started it. G, roll it.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
What?
I'm a biologist.
Okay, that's all we have of that, G? So she said, not in this context. What context? What context is this that she's sitting in? And so she goes on from there.
This is so bad.
So she goes on from there to say, well, no, Senator, because in my position, I just wish we had it. She goes on to say, these things are going to may possibly come in front of the court. And I'm thinking, well, what's going to come in front of the court? Trying to figure out the definite between a man and a woman's going to come before the court? Like, what? I mean,
it's stupefying that she made it this far in life. How did she ever get to the bathroom? Did she know which door to push?
But do you see, like,
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, Marsha Blackburn could have said, "Well, okay, let me ask it to you this way: if you make it to the court, God forbid, which we've talked about, what bathroom do you think Justice Sotomayor uses? What bathroom do you think Justice Kagan uses?
What?
Or what bathroom do you think Justice Thomas uses? Maybe she would have answered, I don't know, maybe she would have answered that, but she could not give a definition of what a woman is.
What if a man, right, is up for like a rape charge, right? What if a man is up for a rape charge and he says, well, I identify a woman, I can't possibly have done this. Well, I don't know if you're a man or a woman because I can't define woman means I can't define man. Case dismissed. How in God's name are we? How is this even remotely possible? It defies. I mean, the most basic things are now we're being gaslighted on. Man and woman, really? How is this even possible?
And of course, you think about Title VII, Title IX. I don't even know how you would take a case, a Title VII or Title IX case, which, by the way, do we have Ted Cruz, G? Let's play Ted Cruz, because he got right into exactly this situation when it was his turn about an hour later from there. Go ahead.
The next up is Senator Cruz of Texas.
Oh, this Dick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Under Article 3 of the Constitution, federal courts have jurisdiction over only cases and controversies, which means under the Constitution it has to be an actual dispute, that federal courts cannot simply issue advisory opinions on a question they may have a view on. And one component of Article 3 jurisdiction is the requirement of standing, that in order for a plaintiff to have standing to bring a case, that plaintiff, at least generally speaking, must have a real and concrete injury. Is that right?
That is correct.
So, for example, that means that even if I might have a disagreement with some particular policy or some particular law, that I can't bring a case unless I am personally aggrieved by that policy or that law. So, for example, you're in my alma mater, Harvard, is currently being sued for its explicit and, in my view, egregious policy of discriminating against Asian Americans. Even though I think that policy is egregious, I, as an individual plaintiff, could not bring a lawsuit challenging it because I am not Asian American. Is that right?
If you brought a lawsuit, the court would have to evaluate whether you had an actual injury in order to be able to determine whether it had subject matter jurisdiction to hear the suit.
But if I'm not in the class being discriminated against, then I don't have the ability to bring the lawsuit. Is that right?
I think you'd have to have an actual injury. Certainly, people
She knows where he's going.
who are
Right.
in the class could
That's why
claim
she's-
that they had an injury for that purpose.
Ask it.
So now you're on the Board of Overseers of Harvard. If you're confirmed, do you intend to recuse from this lawsuit?
That is my plan, Senator.
Okay. We discussed yesterday how the standard for race discrimination was strict scrutiny. The court has laid out a different standard for gender discrimination. What is the constitutional standard that applies to gender discrimination?
Gender discrimination, the court has held intermediate scrutiny applies, which is that the government has to have an important interest, and the tailoring doesn't have to be as narrow.
Right. So yesterday, under questioning from Senator Blackburn, you told her that you couldn't define what a woman is, that you were not a biologist, which I think you're the only Supreme Court nominee in history who's been unable to answer the question, what is a woman? Let me ask you, as a judge, how would you determine if a plaintiff had Article III standing to challenge a gender-based rule, regulation, policy, without being able to determine what a woman was?
So, Senator, I know that I'm a woman. I know that Senator Blackburn is a woman, and the woman who I admire most in the world is in the room today, my mother. It sounded as though the question was...
But let me ask, under the modern leftist sensibilities, if I decide right now that I'm a woman, then apparently I'm a woman. Does that mean that I would have Article III standing to challenge a gender-based restriction?
Senator, to the extent that you are asking me about who has the ability to bring lawsuits based on gender, those kinds of issues are working their way through the courts, and I'm not able to comment on them.
Okay, if I can change my gender, if I can be a woman, and then an hour later, if I decide I'm not a woman anymore, I guess I would lose Article III standing. Tell me, does that same principle apply to other protected characteristics? For example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypotheticals and
Well, I'm asking you how you would assess standing if I came in and said, I have decided I identify as an Asian man.
I would assess standing the way I assess other legal issues, which is to listen to the arguments made by the parties, consider the relevant precedents, and the constitutional principles involved, and make a determination.
Okay, let's
that's good.
go back to your...
So there, I mean, that is an astounding back and forth. Good for Cruz on picking up on that. Not only standing, but someone, I don't know if he got into Title VII, Title IX discrimination. How you would possibly rule over those kind of things if you can't even determine what a woman is.
Yeah.
So good for him on that. But this is. I still think she's going to get confirmed, shockingly, because I just do, and I'll be shocked if she doesn't, and I'll be happy if she doesn't. But this is where the Republicans have. This is where the Republicans, this is where they have to run, because the majority of this country is not where she's at. They don't hold a radical position like this, that you can't define a woman. And there's an article today, by Kurt Schlichter in Town Hall. The left is targeting your kids, and now the fight is on. And they should have a commercial made out of this, and every Republican who's running for anything should be using it. Because we saw what happened when parents got involved in Virginia. And this just absolute insanity of the left when it comes to these kinds of issues. And we talked about the Florida bill yesterday, kindergarten to third graders. This is where Republicans need to run on. Issues like this, and they need to bring it right to the people and bring it right to the parents. Because this identity politics like this, to this degree, where you have somebody who's looking at a lifetime appointment on the highest court in the land, is asked basic, simple questions. And because she's afraid of the radical left that's going to put her in this seat, she cannot answer them or won't answer them.